Hello and welcome to a special holiday edition of Vinyl Night. I'm your elf on a coach, Johnny C. Tonight's episode, it's the most fattening time of the year. Ding dong, ding dong. Anyway, that is a Bob Rivers tune from the More Twisted Christmas collection. If you're interested in more Christmas parody songs, check out Bob Rivers and his Twisted Christmas collection of tunes. Speaking of Christmas tunes, that is what tonight's episode is all about, the Christmas album. And a little anecdote here before we get rolling. Uh, Hopefully, a short anecdote, Johnny. Let's keep it to that. Back in 1972, for Christmas, I was 16 years old. And around Christmas time, I decided to buy my brother, who was 10 years older than I am, a record for Christmas. Uh, he was kind of a folky, kind of went for the Bob Dylan, Peter, Paul, and Mary, the folky stuff. Tom Paxton, Tom Rush. So I knew in my little nefarious mind going on that the album that I purchased to give him as a gift for Christmas was Grand Funk Railroad Phoenix. Uh, and I knew that he wasn't really going to want the record. He might not have even listened to it. And a long story short, there I did end up with the record back in my collection. But a excuse me, slight sidebar to that is when I was looking through my Grand Funk Railroad collection, I could not find Grand Funk Phoenix, and I know that I had the record. So who has it now? I don't know. I am going to believe it is a friend of mine somewhere. So if there is a friend of mine watching this, I doubt there is, and you have my Grand Funk Phoenix record, give it back to me now. You know who you are, Steve H. Um, I'm sure it probably got there. We'd have parties every now and then, bring records. Somebody probably said, "Hey, why don't you leave that record here? I'd like to listen to it." You forget all about it, and before you know it, you don't recognize that it's gone until 40 years later, and it's like, huh, where the hell is my Grand Funk Phoenix record? Anyway, let's move on to our first holiday album. This would be Jackie Gleason, Merry Christmas. This is on a Capitol Records gray label, put out in December of 1956. Jackie Gleason, known for as being a funny guy, also did a lot of conducting and arranging, though, of music. Actually has quite a discography out there. A lot of people would call the music mood music, elevator music. A lot of lush strings going on. There aren't vocals going on too many times on his records. This one does have vocals, but nobody is really singing the melody in the words. They're just kind of singing background vocals, lush choruses going on, not necessarily singing the words at all to the songs. But that was kind of the Jackie Gleason style. And of course, this nice 50s sensibility, nice graphic packaging going on here. On the back there, of course, we have the whole fam family sitting around the Christmas morning, I would assume, looking at all the packages. The big guy himself, Jackie Gleason, and then, let's go out for a ride on the back 40. Maybe one of those typical, gee, wouldn't it be nice if we could all hop in a sleigh and go take a sleigh ride around the back 40 kind of things? Merry Christmas once again. And then, of course, you have mom and dad, maybe after a long Christmas day, all by themselves, or maybe it's Christmas Eve, who knows? but they're certainly getting cozy on the couch here, and probably listening to the mellow, lush sounds of Jackie Gleason back in 1956. Thank you very much. This is an interesting one. This is the Packers sing Holiday Halftime. It's the Packers present Holiday Halftime. This one happens to have an interesting story that I found on the old World Wide Web on the Deadspin website, basically about a gentleman that wanted to get all 26 teams at the time. This was in 1970. Wanted to get all 26 NFL teams to sing, each team sing on a Christmas album. So they went around to each city, NFL city that had an NFL team. This one happens to be the Packers, but you can find the Oakland, all 26 teams participated in putting out their own holiday halftime record. Typical songs on here: All I Want for Christmas Is My Two Front Teeth, which I'm sure was a big hit with the players. Jingle Bells, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. The only person that is credited on the Packer version here with having a solo, if you will, would have been Travis Williams. So, if you were an NFL fan back in 1970 and you want to try and look for your team, take a look. The Deadspin article blog on the Deadspin website. Boy, get redundant there, Johnny. Let's get your thoughts together. Happened to be a gentleman that had an Oakland Raiders holiday halftime record, and he said that that's what would be put on while they were either decorating the Christmas tree or whatever. That's what he had to listen to, the Oakland Raider version of that. I happen to have the Packers version of that. Just think there's a Bears version of that out there too. Here we also have Popeye. There aren't really songs on the Popeye holiday record. These are 4 Christmas stories, and the Jack Mercer, the original Popeye voice, happens to be on here. So let's not mess around. We have the original Popeye voice on this record. This one is from 1977. One of the stories on here is called Christmas Pie. Any relation to olive oil? I don't know, but I'm going to assume that the Christmas pie, though, is spinach pie. Couple other stories on here: Deck the Halls, Santa Popeye, and of course Pearl Burgers. Wimpy, I would gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. So it is Popeye, and this is on the Peter Pan label. Peter Pan started in the late 40s, putting out kids records. I'm sure some of my early kids records that I used to listen to when I was a kid were on the Peter Pan label. Popeye. This one, the New Possibilities, John Fahey and his Guitar Soli Christmas album. John Fahey, a finger-picking, acoustic guitar finger-picking virtuoso. If you're familiar with Leo Kottke, John Fahey would fit in with that style of music just the same. Actually, I believe they were contemporaries at one time. Leo Kottke is still around, John Fahey isn't, but if you like your acoustic guitar, simple acoustic guitar picking Christmas music, there you have it, John Fahey. Sometimes I have to think about what I'm saying. Get a little more coherent there, Johnny. Let's go for the laughs. Stan and Doug. Yes, go nuts at Christmas. Stan and Doug. Scandinavian humor, if you want to call it that. Stan and Doug. Yes, go nuts at Christmas. A couple of funny guys here. Of course, with their songs. Yes, go nuts at Christmas. Ho, 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 don't ever go. I was Santa Claus at the schoolhouse for the PTA, so that gives you an idea what's going on here. Stan and Doug, I did happen to find the insert in here, which kind of gives you a little idea what's going on with Stan and Doug. Not just Christmas. The Swedish Hearts of Songs. Sweethearts of Songs. Even though when I looked up Stan Borison, it said that he was from Norway. He's Norwegian. But, you know, you give it maybe a Midwest Fargo. You probably don't want to give it a Fargo accent. You've got to go to Minnesota and give it that little Swedish touch there. And, you know, you don't miss some of Stan and Doug's other tunes there. Yes, try to sing along. I don't give a hoot. And of course you got songs there like what the hell you got there? Oh boy, man, the Ooga Ooga song. Yeah. Christ, John, why don't you just get the son of a bitches right? Scandinavian hotshot. Oh boy, a Swede. Anyway. Gather up that stuff a little quicker, John. I tell you. Gather up a little quicker, Johnny. Stan and Doug, yes, go nuts. That's all you need to know with that. The Dean Martin Christmas album. Supposedly, this was the only collection that Dean put out of Christmas. Straight up Christmas songs. White Christmas, Jingle Bells, I'll Be Home for Christmas, Blue Christmas, all done in that smooth crooning style of Dean Martin. Nice and laid back for Christmas songs. Good old Dino. The TV original soundtrack, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and this is the original one from 19. What did I have there? I put down some notes there just so I could remember what it was. Why I had the years put down that I don't know what. Should I just quick Popeye was from 77, Fahey was from 68, Stan and Doug was from 1970, and Dino was from 66. Why I want to bother telling you all that now and forgot about it. I actually do have to have a couple of little notes now and then because I would have never remembered what the hell year they were from. I'd be trying to look for the damn thing on the album. So why I wrote down the years, I usually don't do that. This time I did. The Grinch from 66, nice gatefold. Boris Karloff doing the poem and everything, the narration. Some nice little liner notes going on here. Nice Dr. Seuss artwork going on. Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And then, of course, a kind of a funky companion to that, Zero Mostel, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So this was done roughly 10 years later. This one's from 1975. So I don't know if they wanted to keep the Grinch story kind of going along. Side A is Zero Mostel reading How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and then side B on the record is Christmas Songs from Many Lands. Christmas Songs from Many Lands, and they're all sung though in English. You have a song from France, a song from Russia, a Polish song, Spanish Netherlands, not Spanish Netherlands, from Spain and the Netherlands. A German rendition of a song sung in English, though, so we know. But isn't it peace, love, and goodwill to all mankind, peace on the whole earth, not peace on just, my neighborhood. And isn't that what it's supposed to be all about? The brotherhood of Christmas on a How the Grinch Stole Christmas record, Zero Mostel version. And then, of course, we have the Brady Bunch. This one's from 1970. Merry Christmas from the Brady Bunch. I don't see any adults hanging around. But, of course, you got Marcia and Greg and Bobby and I don't know who the hell else was on there. Sissy, John Boy. I don't know. I can't remember who the hell. I don't. You'd think that song would be drilled in the head. Although I never really watched it a lot. I did watch it occasionally. Caught it every now and then. So you had to have Merry Christmas from the Brady Bunch. Once again, pretty pedestrian with the songs. The First Noel, Silent Night, Silver Bells, Jingle Bells. Everybody had to put out a Christmas record. Easy to do. Just put out some already, everybody loves all the Christmas songs. Let's just put out a Christmas record. The reason for the season, ka-ching, except for the 25th now. That's the reason for the season. Keeping with that kind of TV theme, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, featuring Burl Ives. I think you can still find Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, correct, along with the Grinch, still being shown on the network stations around Christmas time. This one with that funky stop-go formation. I don't know what these characters. I don't think they were clay. I thought they were like made out of like styrofoam or something. Whatever it was, it had that funky stop motion thing going on. Kind of nice little liner notes back here. But the one that caught my eye was this thing down at the bottom here, which says this is a high fidelity record for proper reproduction. Use RIAA or similar record compensator settings. Okay, that one I really should have looked up a little bit, and maybe I still will. Proper reproduction, use RIAA or similar record compensator settings on your stereo. Did they have the little strobe light on record players back in, what the hell is this one from? 1964? I don't know. I guess they must have had something in mind for you to be able to do that. So maybe I'll look that up and discuss it a little bit more in another edition. Keeping with what, Johnny? Christmas? Yeah. Christmas in the Stars. And this is, of course, a Star Wars themed Christmas record. I don't believe any of the songs here are like actual Christmas songs, except for the R2-D2 We Wish You a Merry Christmas, which also happens to have a vocal credit on it to one John Bon Jovi. John Bon Jovi using his the spelling of his birth name instead of the Bon Jovi as we know it today, John Bon Jovi. And this one, of course, featuring R2-D2 and Anthony Daniels. Of course, he was C-3PO, so he's the one that gets to do most of the narration and singing on here. A good portion of it is C-3PO. Christmas in the Stars. Thanks. And of course we have Disco Noel, close to that same period, 1979, on the Pickwick label. Pickwick, the bargain house for recordings. This is Disco Noel as performed by Mirror Image. Mirror Image was a Pickwick house band that would also put out recordings such as Sounds Like Earth, Wind and Fire, or Sounds Like Kenny Rogers, or Sounds Like the Eagles, or Sounds Like the Village People. So they're telling you It's not necessarily Earth, Wind, and Fire, but they sure sound like Earth, Wind, and Fire, and that's on the Pickwick label. Uh, Famous for doing things along that line. And of course, we have, the usual songs on your Sleigh Ride, Jingle Bells, Jingle Bell Rock, all done in your disco styling as performed by Mirror Image Disco Noel. Thank you very much. And this is last but not least my favorite of the group, just because it reminds me a little bit of my earlier story about giving a record for Christmas. None of these records, I don't believe, were ever given to me as a Christmas present. Around Christmas time, out in the thrift stores, you'd find all the Christmas records. And there was always a thought that one of these times I'm going to find the Big and Bowie, Little Drummer Boy, out in the never happened yet, but you just never know. You got to dig in those crates. You never know. You might find. One time I saw the record, and it was in a actual record store. It was not in a thrift store that I saw. Excuse me again. The Bing and Bowie Christmas album, Little Drummer Boy. This one's my favorite because it is Merry Christmas, and that's it. But it does have Santa holding a record, as if to say, here is Santa's Christmas gift to you, a record. Merry freaking Christmas. And on the back, of course, you have Santa holding that record again, just to let you know, hey, this is your record, this is your Christmas present. Typical songs on here. Hark the Herald Angels Sing, The First Noel, Jingle Bells, Old Lang Syne, Christmas favorites, old and new for young and old. And I guess from the digging that I could do, since this really doesn't have any information on it at all, who did it, who's doing the singing. It was put out, though, by a company called Broadway Records. And from what I can glean from all of this is that Broadway Records was a West Coast company that put these records out specifically for a chain of department stores that were called Broadway department stores, and they might have had some other offshoot stores. And supposedly they sold records like this in the store, specifically for the store. So that's why you don't get a lot of information on it. And I believe there are other stylings. I'm going to get in trouble for that when I start going, I believe. Anyway, try and look it up. Broadway Records. See if they did other recordings for the department